Okay, now there is something that's going to overshadow the review tonight. We'll see tomorrow how bad it is. The most recent mentions, Nathan MacKinnon injured now. Why, God, why? Along with a gif of Somebody Kill Me Please from Wedding Singer. Anyways, is Nathan MacKinnon okay? I had to go to school. What happened to Nathan MacKinnon? The loss of Nathan MacKinnon as well as the Avs now missing 9 of their starting players. I'm going to Kermit. That's all she wrote. Avs fall to Kings 3-1 and go at 1-2 on the 3-game road trip. Story of the game was Nathan MacKinnon leaving the game with a lower body injury. Thanks for following along, folks. Have a good night. Dear hockey gods, please let Nathan MacKinnon be okay. Nathan MacKinnon's out indefinitely with a lower body injury. I don't trust that one because nobody said it's indefinite, just that he wasn't coming back to the game. Nathan MacKinnon's hurt, and this season is a bleeping wash. Also, we lost Nathan MacKinnon. Are you joking? Are Avs fans being punked? Like, are you bleeping me? We've lost about 2 lines and a starting goalie, and now we lost our star player. Are you bleeping with me? All right. Nathan MacKinnon hurt now. So many injuries for the Avalanche. It's incredible. The NHL season isn't fair sometime. Hasn't been for the Avs. Now Nathan MacKinnon's out. We'll see where things go from here. Hopefully get healthy for playoffs, and regardless what a group this is here, fingers crossed and the best with injury news to come. Oh dear Lord, now Nathan MacKinnon's hurt. Injury list now: Colin Wilson, Nazem Kadri, Philip Grubauer, Mikko Rantanen, Matt Calvert, Andre Burakovsky, Cale Makar, Nathan MacKinnon. So when we discuss the Colorado Avalanche and their misfortunes, we have to discuss the 9 elephants in the room, which is all the injuries. All right, now we'll start tonight's review. Capitals in against Buffalo. Meanwhile, all the Avs fans are like, why am I even going to watch this? I'm just turning it off. So, Capitals in against Buffalo, and this one looked sort of like a trap game early. And here, okay, I'll get to that. My one gripe that happens at this time of year. I had this gripe about the Tampa game as well. So, Olofsson scores from Johansson and Dahlin at 4:53. And that's kind of where it's like, okay, wait, what? Because it had been kind of a quiet game up until that point. Vrana then almost ties it. The shots were 6-4 in favor of the Capitals at 9 minutes. But it was a pretty even period, and Ullmark looked pretty darn sharp considering he hadn't been in the net in a while. I'm not picking that up. Solid game for the Sabres. The Caps then get a power play, and we go into the second period. Early in the second, early. Buffalo gets a power play. They score on it pretty much right away. Eichel from Dahlin and Ristolainen at 53 seconds. So Rasmus Dahlin with a couple of helpers. And Eichel finally gets a goal. It's been a while. He'd gone 7 games without a point, so that's important. He gets that power play goal. Sabres go back to the power play, and it looked like it was beast mode Jack Eichel tonight. Like he was himself. This is the Jack Eichel that we've been talking about for most of the season that kind of went AWOL for the last little while. Ullmark then denied Jensen, and we go to the third period with it 2-0 in favor of Buffalo. Third period, there is some fight back from the Capitals. First, it's Ovechkin with his 706th in his career, the 48th of the season, which ties him with Pasternak for the league lead. Kuznetsov with the assist at 3:33, and it was a really nice face-off win by Kuznetsov, and Ovechkin just blasts it. Kovalchuk was then denied by Ullmark. However, past the halfway mark, Orlov would get a goal from Ovechkin and Wilson. So at 13 minutes and 11 seconds, Capitals tie it. Capitals nearly take a lead. Holtby stopped Olofsson as we wind down the game, and we go to overtime. In overtime, the Sabres get a power play with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the overtime. The Sabres took a timeout with 3 seconds left in the power play, likely to say, what happened to the power play? Why can't we score 4-on-3? And Holtby would then stop Eichel in the waning seconds of overtime. Eichel looks up at the clock, realizes how much time he has left, and goes in and takes a shot. We go to the shootout. We go to round 6. In round 6, Dominic Cahoon gets the winner. I don't like shootouts for this reason. Because now the narrative coming out of tonight is Capitals lost to Buffalo, but if the shootout win had come in round, I think it was round 3 where Washington got their goal and Buffalo doesn't score it, then we're talking about, well, the Caps get 2 points tonight. I'm not a big shootout fan. I'm not saying bring back ties. I'm just saying it's a crappy way to decide who gets the 2 points and who gets the 1. But Caps get the point. Holtby made 24 saves on 26 shots. I thought he played well. Ullmark saved 33 out of 35. Your 3 stars are Olkman, Hulkman. Sure, we'll just combine all 3 names. That's what we'll do with all 3 stars tonight. Just save time. Ullmark, Dahlin, and Ovechkin. Hulkman? Where'd that come from? Okay, so there's your 3 stars. Power play 0 for 1 for the Capitals, 1 for 3 for the Buffalo Sabres. Shots were 9-8 in favor of the Caps in the first, 9-8 in favor of Buffalo in the second, 16-5 in the third in favor of the Capitals, and 4-2 in the overtime in favor of Buffalo, who of course had that power play. Final shots 35-26 in favor of the Capitals. I thought both teams played well. This is Buffalo playing the spoiler role. We'll see if they're able to do this more often, because this is their first win in a while. Arizona. You want to talk about not trusting a lead. That was kind of a theme tonight, actually. Early in the year we talked about, scoring first doesn't mean a whole lot. And then suddenly it did. Once we reached about the end of November, scoring first was a pretty good indicator of who was probably going to win. Tonight, these first 4 games, nope. The 5th game on the second board, that one, yes. The team that scored first won. No, and no. Interesting. Lowry had a fight with Krause early, so Lowry coming back to the lineup wants to celebrate by punching somebody in the face. And he had Krause pinned down pretty good after the fight. So Lowry wins that, gets the fans all fired up, and his teammates. His teammates look quite happy about it. Fisher then had a chance that was denied. Connor had a breakaway that was stopped. Grabner and Ehlers then got shaken up on a play where they collided with each other. There's nothing in hockey where you can see an injury faster than when 2 guys just collide. They don't see each other coming, and you're not braced for it. You have no way of preparing, and then collision takes place. And if it's at full speed, yeah, you can suffer an injury. Scoreless, but the chances favored the Jets. The Jets had a very good first period, and then Schmaltz scores from Kessel and Soderberg at 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Jets get a power play. The power play was pretty good. Did not score. And then with 2 seconds, 1.2 actually, left in the period, Schmaltz scores from Kessel and Demers at 19:58. So Schmaltz with 2 goals, Kessel with 2 assists. And in a period where they're outplayed, Arizona is up 2-0. So second period, here we go. Roslovic missed on a 2-on-1, and then Ehlers. So 2 minutes and 13 seconds into the second period, Ehlers shows he's just fine after getting shaken up by scoring from Pullman and Beaulieu. We then had a power play for the Jets. It was unsuccessful. Those were the only power plays they had in the game. But the general feeling of this period was a very up and down period of hockey. And it was more of Jets hockey than Arizona hockey. I don't think Arizona likes these amount of chances being given up in one period. So it went back and forth. And then Tucker Pullman, of all people, gets a goal from Cody Eakin and Ehlers at 17 minutes and 27 seconds. So Cody Eakin has been a pretty solid addition for the Jets. And it's 2-2 after 2. So third period. Fourth line made a push for the Jets. The Coyotes get a power play. Excellent penalty kill by the Jets there. But there was a lot of pushing by the Coyotes in that third period. They generated a ton of shots. Connor Hellebuyck was saying no. Connor Hellebuyck was not allowing anything. So Eakin would score his first from Ehlers. That was the 3rd point of the game for Ehlers. And Laine with an assist as well at 11 minutes and 33 seconds. And suddenly Winnipeg has a lead. And so Arizona did their best to try to get that goal back. Again, Hellebuyck was fantastic. They pull the goalie with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. They call a timeout with 1 minute and minute and 36 seconds left. Oliver Ekman-Larsson had the best chance with the 6-on-5 for Arizona. Could not get it in the net. And then it's Scheifele scoring the empty netter from Wheeler and Kopp at 19:24. And the Jets win this one 4-2 over the Coyotes. Big blow to the Coyotes' playoff hopes. And for the Jets, they jump back into a playoff spot for tonight. We'll see tomorrow night what happens and whether or not they're still in that spot. Kemper, 30 saves on 33 shots in the loss. Hellebuyck saved 36 out of 38 in the win. Your 3 stars are Ehlers, Eakin, and Pullman, which makes me wonder why Hellebuyck isn't in there. Hellebuyck was fantastic. He made a lot of saves. The shots were 11-7 in the first in favor of Winnipeg, 15-12 in favor of Winnipeg in the second, 19-8 in favor of the Coyotes in the third. So in the second and third period, Hellebuyck saves 31 shots. All 31 shots he faced. Final shots 38-34 in favor of the Coyotes. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. Excellent game for Connor Hellebuck. Next up is Florida. Less notes on this one for the most part because Florida and St. Louis played a very, very strong, evenly played for the most part game. Second period was a little bit in favor of Florida, although the scoring wasn't. So first period, the shots are 3-1 for Florida at the 5-minute mark. And I thought they played very well. Right out of the gate, I was like, Florida's better on the road than at home. I even said we did the Patreon live stream today. We do that most Mondays. And I said I kind of wished I'd put an Akbar magnet on this game because I feel like this was an upset in the making. The Blues and the Panthers were trading chances. The shots were more than 2-1 in favor of the Blues at one point during this period, but they would even up. Late power play for the Blues, and then that doesn't succeed, and then Weegar was sprung out of the box. It's tough, isn't it? He gets a breakaway coming out of the penalty box. And it's one of those things where the team on the power play has got to be aware of the guy coming out of the box. How many times have we seen that guy get a power play? Get a breakaway. It's denied by Binnington, who had a pretty good game himself. So second period, the shots favored Florida early and often. But Binnington and Drieger were both in a duel. This was pretty clearly a great game for both goaltenders. Parayko would break the scoreless tie. He scores from Thomas at 11:20, and I thought that was interesting because at the time, it felt like this was Florida's game. Now, to Florida's credit, they didn't fold up their tent and go home on this one. They pushed a little harder, and they would be rewarded when they got a power play. Their only power play of the game, they make it count. Hoffman scores from Sorella and Dadonov at 16 minutes and 12 seconds. So it's a 1-1 tie. We go to the third period. And early in that third period, and this is one of those plays where, okay, so the plays behind the net, Blues defenseman, I think it was Dunn, is bumped into the net. The net bumps forward, and it kind of hits Binnington in the back of the head, back of the neck area. Likely distracting, but it didn't knock the net off, so you don't get a stoppage of play. Connolly scores from Sorella, who passed it out from behind the net. So that's the first goal in 13 games for Connolly. And it was mentioned, numerous times by Darren Pang, that's kind of a shame because Binnington was likely distracted by the fact that net hit him in the back of the head seconds before that went in, may have thrown him off. Not goalie interference, doesn't count as goalie interference, you can't challenge for that. But yeah, there you go. So at 4:23, it's 2-1 in favor of the Panthers. A really great road game for the Panthers. Even after the Blues fell behind in this, the Panthers kept it all under control. Binnington did some snow angels in that third period. Binnington sometimes is unorthodox in making saves. He still makes them, but he's unorthodox in making them. Power play for the Blues. Drieger stopped Parayko. Colton Parayko is playing some of the best hockey of his career right now. Might be the best hockey of his career. He's been fantastic. And then they pull the goalie with 2.5 minutes left. The Blues call a timeout with 45.6 seconds left. They cannot break through that defense. Florida tonight played really, really well defensively. And if you're a Florida fan, you got to be thinking, where's this at home? And I agree. Florida's a different team on the road than at home. Drieger saves 26 out of 27 shots in the win. Binnington saves 32 out of 34 in the loss. Played very well. 3 stars are Connolly, Hoffman, and Thomas. Power plays. Florida goes 1 for 1, as I said, and St. Louis goes 0 for 2. Power play or shots. Both teams had 11 in the first period. 16-7 in favor of Florida in the second. 9-7 in favor of St. Louis in the third. And final shots 34-27 in favor of the road team. Great road game for Florida. They keep their playoff hopes pretty strong and pretty alive. All right, Vegas. So they do it again. I don't know how many times Vegas can do this, where they come from behind, but they did it tonight, and this was impressive. Chason scores from Klefbom on the second shot that Edmonton got at 9 minutes, and all I could think was, so are we in for a rough game with Fleury? Because if Fleury has a rough game here, let's say he allows 4 goals on 12 shots, and then Leonard goes in, we have a goaltending controversy as soon as tomorrow, with some media, probably some fans as well. I'm not saying with the team, just that's a narrative. Now that they've got Leonard, they've got a decent backup option. Fleury may be on a bit of a shorter leash than he's ever had in Vegas. He's been on that short leash previously in his career. In Pittsburgh, he was always on it the last, I'll say, 3 or 4 years he was in Pittsburgh. Vegas was getting a lot of turnovers from the Oilers. So the Oilers, epidemic of turnovers. I don't think they got that under control throughout this game. The shots heavily favored Vegas. They would get a power play, and eventually when the shots are that much in favor of one team, they will get a goal, usually anyways. Schmidt scores on the power play from Martinez and Cousins at 16:58. So it's 1-1. 1-1. We go to the second period. Oilers were stuck on 3 shots. Vegas had 23 at that stage, 23-3. Now, the Oilers would get a couple of shots, and they'd start to fight back a bit. Koskinen really trying to steal another game. Mikko Koskinen, absolutely fantastic tonight. He continued his amazing run that he's been on. And it's not really a secret as he plays this way against multiple teams, and fan bases all around the league start going, hey, Koskinen's having a good year. The Oilers improved in the second half of that period. Clearly, they got themselves together, realized, hey, this is a tie game. We've got to play a little better. Our goalie's saving our bacon. Let's go out there and do this. Fleury stopped Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in close as the Oilers were pushing pretty hard. So Fleury up to the task. He holds his end of the bargain while Koskinen's holding up his. We go into the third period. Schmidt gets back-to-back chances. And Nate Schmidt probably frustrated with that. He already had a goal on the night. Probably wanted number 2 right there. I'm going to say he definitely wanted number 2 right there. Pacioretty had a chance that was poke-checked away by Koskinen. Really, really nice play by the goaltender. And then Nugent-Hopkins scores from Yamamoto at 6:46. Kyler Yamamoto is right now everything that the Edmonton Oilers could have asked for in a forward, in a winger. And the chemistry he has with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is excellent because it doesn't have to be the Connor McDavid show. It doesn't have to be the Leon Draisaitl show. Yamamoto, 25 points now in 26 games. He's pretty decent all in on his own. And Nugent-Hopkins, I think, has been buoyed by this kid as well. Then Vegas gets a power play. They don't score on that. Marchessault, though, would score from Smith at 11:57. So off of a lost face-off, goes to Marchessault and goes to the back of the net. And the shots were favoring Vegas in that third period. Now, the Oilers get some pretty good shots. There was one, Yamamoto, he missed high. They had some chances, just couldn't quite get them in there, so we go to overtime. Fleury denied Ethan Bear. And then Vegas, they got close. Smith missed high. So we had Yamamoto miss high at one end, and Smith misses high at the other. And then Shea Theodore scores from Marchessault at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. And in overtime, Vegas beats Edmonton 3-2. And they are first in the division now by 3 points. So for Vegas, a big win tonight. Fleury saves 22 out of 24 in the victory. Koskinen saves 45 out of 48 in the loss. Koskinen, Nugent-Hopkins, and Theodore are your 3 stars power plays. Vegas goes 1 for 2. Edmonton, nothing. No power play for Edmonton. So that's an issue. First period, the shots were 15-3 in favor of San Jose. Second period, 15-11. Or San Jose. I'm looking. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where I'm looking. 15-3 in favor of Vegas. 15-11 in favor of Vegas in the second. 16-9 in favor of Vegas in the third. 2-1 in favor of Vegas in the overtime. Final shots, 48-24 in favor of Vegas. So if Vegas had lost this game, you can say Koskinen completely steals it. The fact that they outshot them 48-24 and it goes to overtime shows Koskinen did everything humanly possible to try to steal it. All right, let's go to board number 2. Okay, so the result is going to be overlooked. The Kings are out of it. They're not going to make the playoffs. But boy howdy, the Kings have won 6 in a row. I'm telling you, the Kings are playing well. Now, what overshadows all this is Nathan MacKinnon leaving the game in the second period. It was a innocuous-looking play involving Martin Ferk. Just one of those things where it may be nothing major. They haven't said. We'll find out tomorrow. Meanwhile, if it is a time to panic for Avalanche fans, absolutely go to your local store and buy as much toilet paper as humanly possible. This seems to be the thing now. So the shots were 3-0 for the Kings at 4 minutes. The Kings then get a power play. They were in control of the game. Defensive battle was forming, but the Kings were winning that defensive battle. McKinnon had a break. He missed high. And then, what is it with guys missing high tonight? Anyways, and then Wagner scores from Prohorkin and Walker at 14:22. Yep. And then before the dust is settled in that one, Mikey Anderson with his first goal in the NHL from Ferk and Gabriel Velarde. at 15-25. So, this guy who likes Velarde was quite impressed to see that. Now, technically, it's Mikey Anderson's goal, but it went off Connaughton's stick. So Connaughton kind of puts it into his own net, and there you go. And then before the period was over, Velarde almost got one on his own. So Velarde almost had a goal and an assist in the first period. It was another really good game for Gabriel Velarde. I love watching this kid develop. Second period, the Avs get a power play. Landeskog ends up hitting the crossbar. Kempe, the other direction, he hits a post. Nichushkin then drew a penalty shot. And there was some debate about whether or not it should have been on the LA broadcast until they showed it from the right angle, and they go, yeah, that's a penalty shot. And absolutely penalty shot. So Nichushkin goes in and Quick saved it. Quick had him the whole way. And so Nichushkin fails on that. Cole then had a chance that was denied by Quick as well. So Jonathan Quick with a very good game tonight. Excellent game. Third period, they announced that McKinnon, who'd left during the second, would not return to the game. Again, I read you guys the Twitter mentions of Nathan McKinnon. That's where we're at right now, and Avs fans not happy. The hockey gods are relentless, and sometimes they're flat out ruthless. I understand this as a fan who's watched the game for about 40 years. Belmar scores from Cole at 2 minutes and 19 seconds. So despite the loss of McKinnon, there's a goal by the Avs, makes it 2-1. But the Kings would get a power play pretty soon after. Now, the play was mostly even. I'll say mostly even throughout this period. And then Iafallo scores from Hutton and Doughty at 14:35. And it was a nice goal by Iafallo. It's your insurance marker at 3-1. Francouz then stopped Dustin Brown. And I'm sure Colorado's like, who are these Kings? Well, they're a Kings team that have found themselves again. And I'm not saying they can do this next season at all. I'm just saying it's kind of fun to watch these guys win games for fans who come out. Goalie gets pulled with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left, but the Avalanche are unable to make that comeback. So Francouz saves 32 out of 35. I thought he played well. Quick saves 21 out of 22. He was fantastic. Vintage Quick tonight. He's your first star. Anderson's the second star with that goal that went in off Connaughton. Doughty, third star. Doughty with the assist tonight. He tied Butch Goring for 7th on the all-time assist list for the LA Kings. So a little trivia question / answer for you fine people tonight. And the Kings get the win. Now what's interesting here is I know there are going to be Avs fans who say, well, it's because McKinnon was out. That hurt the Avs, but in the first period, the shots were 11-4 in favor of LA. And they had 2 goals. Second period, the shots were 16-8 in favor of the Kings. And in the third, minus McKinnon, they actually outshot the Kings 10-8 overall in the third period. Final shots 35-22 in favor of the Kings. Power plays, LA goes 0 for 2. Colorado goes 0 for 1. And again, we'll wait until tomorrow and we'll see what the news is on McKinnon. So what happened tonight? Well, playoff races in the East stay basically the same. The Capitals with that 1 point, they're now up to 90. They're 1 point ahead of the Flyers, who play tomorrow night against Boston. That's not a gimme. In the East, the Florida Panthers with the win tonight, they move within 1 point of the Canes and the Leafs. Keep that in mind. The Florida Panthers can legitimately end up being a wild card if they don't end up finishing ahead of Toronto. So that's where things get interesting for me in the East. Buffalo with the win, they are now tied with New Jersey, but they've played one more game, so they're still below New Jersey in the standings. Out west, St. Louis and Colorado both lose, which gives minor hope to Dallas, but Dallas is 10 points back of first place. It's not going to happen. Vegas with the win, they go to 86 points. They are 3 points clear of the Oilers, who've played one less game. The Jets move into the number 1 wild card with 78 points, bumping down Minnesota to the second wild card with 77. Vancouver's now below the playoff line again, going into tomorrow night's game against the Islanders. 76 points in 68 games for them. Nashville, same totals. And for Arizona, now they've got 70 games played, 74 points. They're 3 points out of the playoffs, and they're 4 points behind the Jets. It gets kind of tricky from here for them because they've only got 12 games left. The Hawks with 70 points, nobody really did them any favors. They're now 7 points back with 13 games left. So there you go. You guys are all up to date. And if you're wondering about the Kings, they're down here with 62 points. They are 15 points out with 13 games left. Even if they won all 13 of the remaining games, they got to 88 points. I'm going to say that somebody ends up with 89 in the West. So even if they went on a 19-game winning streak to end the season, LA still misses the playoffs. But we'll see, right? All right, thank you guys so much for all your support and for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.